Please let this kit go together, much like the B25 and the P40, and not as much like the HE111 or the Lancaster. Let the gaps be minimal, and no step-offs be present. Be with the starting pygmies down there in New Guinea. Amen. All right, getting ready to start a new Airfix kit, and hopefully this one will rock you like a... No, bad joke, not gonna do it. Okay, my next airplane kit is going to be the Airfix 148 Hawker Hurricane. That's last Airfix kit that I've had in the stash, so I'm just going to get the Airfix out of my system. And so I was kind of making a dad joke about the song Rock You Like a Hurricane. And it's like, so we're ending up going all over Europe with this build and that dad joke, mentioning a song by a German band, gonna do a British aircraft flown by a Polish pilot. Well, if that's not including all of Europe, that's all over it. So first step, something I like to do, at least with the Airfix kits, as well as vintage ones, is first get the pieces all washed. And I've said before that most of my choices in making models has to do with picking the plane of a specific pilot. Whether it be from a movie or documentary show. Well, this one was actually from a movie about a real pilot. Actually, two movies. I think the one I definitely remember was a movie called Hurricane, also called Mission of Honor, depending on which region you viewed it in. It's a movie about 303 Squadron in the Battle of Britain, which was a Polish squadron. Kind of sad, in the original Battle of Britain movie, they showed maybe 5 minutes of 303 Squadron, used it as kind of comic relief. But the incident that they showed in the movie Battle of Britain actually happened. They were on a training flight and were ordered to not engage, but one pilot did, and before they were a truly operational squadron, they had one German kill to their name. And anyway, a pilot I found interesting was pilot Jan Zumbach, of Polish and Swiss descent, that made his way over to Britain and joined the 303 Squadron. Can't remember the actor's name right off, but the same guy who played Ramsay Bolton in Game of Thrones and Mick Mars in the Netflix movie The Dirt. There was a second movie about 303 Squadron, and once again, Jan Zumbach was one of the major figures. He survived the war and later ended up as a mercenary pilot in the Belgian Congo. So that's a little explanation of that pilot. Actually, somewhere in the stash, I've got a Spitfire Mark V Tamiya kit that also going to be his from later on in the war. Well, I'm not really big on unboxings, but here we've got, counted already, 4 sprues. I kind of like that those rear control surfaces is like a single piece, so I'm not going to have to worry about it, about the two sides not being the same angle. There's some pretty nice detail in there. There's raised rivets. That's all the fuselage halves. Once again, nice detail. Ordered some Eduard resin exhausts to go in there. You can kind of get the sense of that fabric covering, at least on the fuselage. There's one piece, so it looks like two-piece wheel and tire. And looks like, once again, the ones you can insert. I kind of like that because you can, paint those separately and stick them in where you don't really have to worry about masking. Underside of the wings. Also, I saw on the fuselage, looks like there's going to be a bottom piece where you've got one and another, so I'm guessing that means going to have a sea Hurricane in the future, because that looks like where you can put an arresting hook. That would be my guess. I think that's going to be some inner fuselage pieces. Ugh. Two different prop choices. I have to be careful on that. All right, so that styrene is going to go take a bath. Much easier than giving the cat a bath, and maybe not quite as easy as giving the lab a bath. Not sure that he really likes it, but since he's a Labrador, he doesn't give too much of a fuss about it. All right, off we go. Well, got this very fiddly cockpit assembly done, but looking good so far. It's got a whole bunch of little parts that all kind of go together to make this whole framework. And also got the seat and like the rear firewall back there. I've officially started the Hurricane. Well, I've actually got some progress going. I got the cockpit assembly attached. I'm really not wild about the way Airfix does those. Sometimes it becomes a wrestling match getting them to go where they're supposed to. But got all of that done. I've also been pre-painting some parts like instrument panel, firewall. Also, amongst various other things on the alligator clips, I've got the pilot. Not sure if I'm gonna paint him and put him in or not. But getting some work done on this Hurricane. So with a bit of fighting, I got the wings attached, and it was quite a bit of fight. And there's like a little ledge on the leading edge and not so bad on the back. There was a lot of clamping and taping involved to get it to go down. So now it's filing and sanding. All right, well, I got those two little areas filled in with some Mr. Surfacer 500, and then re-spot primed it, and looks like those areas are good. Also, one of the two decisions, it's like pilot in, pilot out, and wheels up, wheels down. I'm going to go ahead and paint the pilot, and I haven't reached a point of no return. I could still drill some holes out to put it up on a stand and in flight. I just haven't totally decided on that yet. Well, off to a fairly good start with the Hurricane. It's coming along fairly well. Got some fit issues going on, like from dry fitting the fuselage to the wings. I can already tell that's going to be a bit of a fight, but that's what I've kind of come to expect with Airfix. Well, that's all for this time. And I'm heading back to Dixie Station in just a little bit here. Well, that's a cable showing you mine to hopefully make you feel better about yours.